Stop waiting for people to stay. That is the first thing. Because a lot of people are living their whole life in a kind of waiting position. Waiting for the right person to show up. Waiting for the friend group to get better. Waiting for the relationship to get more stable. Waiting for the people around them to finally become what they need them to be. And while they are waiting, their own life is sitting there, untouched, uninvested in, growing older without growing fuller. Because all the energy that should be going into building something real is going into watching other people and hoping they do not leave. And the painful truth is, people leave anyway. Not always, not everyone, but enough. Enough that if you have lived any kind of real life at all, you already know this from personal experience. The friend you thought would be around forever quietly drifted. The person you built plans around chose a different direction. The relationship you invested everything into ended in a way you did not see coming. The group you felt safe inside shifted, and suddenly you were on the outside of something you thought you belonged to. And every time that happened, every time someone left or changed or disappeared, if your whole sense of okayness was tied up in their presence, it knocked you flat. It took longer to recover than it should have, because you had built your life on something that was never fully in your control. You had built your life on other people. And other people, no matter how much they love you, no matter how good their intentions are not a stable foundation. They are human. They change. They grow in different directions. They have their own lives pulling them in ways that have nothing to do with you. And sometimes they just go. This is not a reason to become cold. This is not a reason to stop loving people or trusting people or letting people in. It is a reason to build something underneath all of that. Something that belongs only to you. Something that does not depend on who stays and who goes. Something that is still standing and still full and still growing even when the people around you change. That something is yourself. Your own life. Fully and deliberately and unapologetically built. What it actually means to focus on yourself. Most people hear focus on yourself and they picture something small. Go to the gym, read a book, take a bubble bath, do some self-care. And those things are fine, but that is not what this is about. Focusing on yourself is not a weekend activity. It is not something you do after a breakup for a few weeks until someone new comes along. It is a complete shift in where you place your primary investment. Your time, your energy, your attention, your ambition, your love. It means deciding that your growth is the most important project you have. Not more important than the people you love, but not less important either. Equal. At minimum equal. Because here is the thing that most people never figure out. The best thing you can do for the people in your life is become the best version of yourself. The more you grow, the more you build, the more you invest in your own health and mind and skills and peace, the better you show up for everyone around you. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And most people are running on empty because they keep pouring into everyone else and treating themselves last. Focusing on yourself means building skills that make you proud. Not skills to impress other people. Skills that make you feel capable and useful and like you are growing. It means working on your finances. Not obsessively, but intentionally. Understanding where your money goes. Building something for your future. Creating options for yourself so that you are never stuck somewhere just because you cannot afford to leave. It means taking your health seriously. Moving your body. Eating in a way that gives you energy. Sleeping enough. Not because you want to look a certain way for someone else. Because you want to feel strong and alive in your own body for yourself. It means developing your mind. Reading. Learning. Thinking carefully about the world and your place in it. Having opinions that you actually formed yourself rather than just borrowing opinions from whoever is around you. Knowing what you believe and why you believe it. Having a sense of self that is clear and grounded and does not shift every time you are around a different group of people. It means building a life that you actually like. Not a life that looks good from the outside. A life that feels good from the inside. A life that you would choose even if nobody was watching. Even if nobody was impressed. Even if nobody validated it. A life that is genuinely yours. Why people come and go. And why that is okay. Here is something that took most people a long time to accept. Not everyone is meant to stay forever. Some people come into your life for a season. They are there for a specific chapter. They teach you something. They share something with you. They walk with you through a particular stretch of road. And then the road forks and they go one way and you go another. And that is not a failure. That is just how life works. The friendships that made sense at 20 do not always make sense at 30. Because you are not the same person. The relationship that was right for who you were then is not always right for who you are becoming. The group that felt like home during one chapter of your life starts to feel like it belongs to a version of you that you have outgrown. And that is okay. That is actually a sign that you are growing. Because if you are exactly the same person with exactly the same people living exactly the same life 5 years from now, you have not grown. You have just been comfortable. Growth costs you some things. Costs you some relationships. Not because the people are bad, but because not every connection is built to stretch across every version of you. Some connections are seasonal. And fighting that, clinging to something that has run its course just because it used to feel essential, does not keep the thing alive. It just makes the ending slower and more painful than it needs to be. When you accept that people come and go, something relaxes inside you. You stop holding people so tightly that you squeeze the life out of the connection. You stop being so terrified of losing someone that you become someone who is exhausting to be around. You start enjoying people for who they are and what they bring right now, without needing them to be permanent to be valuable. Because a connection does not have to last forever to have mattered. A person does not have to stay forever to have been important. The seasons of your life all count. The people in each season all count. And some of the most significant people in your life will be the ones who were only there for a short time but left you permanently changed in the best possible way. What happens when you truly focus on yourself? When you genuinely, consistently, patiently focus on your own growth and your own life, two things happen that most people do not expect. The first thing is that you become genuinely okay alone. Not lonely okay. Not I am pretending to be fine okay. Actually okay. You develop a relationship with yourself that is honest and interesting and sustaining. You become someone you actually enjoy spending time with. And that changes everything. Because you stop making desperate decisions just to avoid being alone. You stop staying in bad situations because the alternative is silence and you cannot handle silence. You stop accepting poor treatment because having someone around feels better than having no one around. When you are genuinely okay alone, you only choose people and situations that actually add to your life, because you no longer need them to complete it. The second thing that happens is that better people start showing up. This sounds like magic. It is not magic. It is just how it works. When you are growing and building and investing in yourself, you naturally end up in different places, doing different things, meeting different kinds of people, people who are also growing and building, people who have standards for their own lives that match the standards you are developing for yours, people who do not need you to be small so they can feel big, people who are genuinely happy to see you win because they are busy building their own wins. You do not attract these people by trying to attract them. You attract them by becoming someone who is genuinely interesting and grounded and going somewhere. By having a real life that you are actually excited about. By being so focused on your own growth that the energy you give off is not desperate or needy or searching. It is just full, alive, genuinely content. And that energy is one of the most attractive things a person can have. Not attractive in a shallow way. Attractive in a deep way. The kind that draws real people who want real connection. The simple truth. People will come into your life. Some will stay for a long time. Some will stay for a season. Some will leave in ways that hurt and some will leave quietly without drama. You cannot control who stays and who goes. You cannot love someone into staying if they are meant to go. You cannot hold something together through sheer force of need if it has run its natural course. What you can control is what you build inside yourself while all of that is happening around you. The skills you develop, the peace you cultivate, the life you construct, the person you become through every season. through the full ones and the empty ones, through the loud chapters and the quiet ones, through the times when you are surrounded and the times when you feel alone. Build that person. Invest in that person. Show up for that person every single day, even when it is not exciting, even when nobody is watching, even when the results are not visible yet, because that person, the one you are building quietly and consistently, is the only thing that goes with you through every season of your life. Everyone else comes and goes. Your relationship with yourself is the only one that is truly permanent. Make it a good one. Make it a genuinely good one, because everything else in your life will rise or fall based on the quality of that one relationship. Focus on yourself, not because people do not matter, but because you matter too, completely, without apology. I run on subscribers, not batteries. If this gave you something real, that button costs you nothing and it means everything.